Hi there, you are tuned into Beauty and Braids, the podcast where I, Karyne, has conversations about all things relevant to personal growth and development. Just a heads up, I'm unfiltered. You're welcome. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to Beauty and Braids. I am your host, Karyne, and I'm just so excited that it is 2021. Can you believe it? We have 365 days ahead of us. That means there are 365 days that have not been touched, has not been utilized, just the possibilities, the endless possibilities that is at your fingertips. I mean, there's so many opportunities that you have not even yet to fathom what can happen. I mean, I'm just saying. Man, like when I think about the topic that I'm going to talk about today is called new growth. Now, if you've done your hair, you know about new growth. Everybody knows about new growth. Everybody on the planet knows about new growth. Okay? If you have gray hair, you definitely know about new growth because you know when the color just it starts to fade. You see that new growth, the color, you see it. You're like, I need a touch up. Okay. Even if in a protective style, that new growth come in, you're like, I gotta go do my hair over. Right. So that is what we're going to be talking about today, and it's going to relate to life. So I'm trying something new with the podcast. I'm going to be relating a lot of the lifestyles, life topics, personal development and growth and wellness. I'm going to relate it back to hair. I know hair, and especially when I'm talking to my clients, I talk about so many different things, and I want you to understand what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm going to make things make sense for you in the realm of hair. But we're going to be talking about real life topics. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you develop new growth? New growth. Now I'm going to break it down. So new growth. When you think about new growth is brand new. It is untouched. It is the natural part of your hair that is just untainted. It's just free. It's brand new. It's newborn. It's just unsullied. It's just, the fresh curls. It's all of that. And I also spoke about this year being new. It's a new year of untapped territory, right? Untouched, untapped, no one's gone there. Okay? So it's like the virgin of hair. That is basically what new growth is. And when we think about new growth, it is also when you're growing in your life. It's a new experience. Like you're like, oh my God, I never even knew that. Like it becomes so new when you're trying to learn something different. It is new. It is unknown to you. And I really want to say that don't be scared of the new growth. New growth is good. New is good because it is something that you haven't done before, something that you can experience now. You know about everything else in the past. You know about the hair that's still standing on your hair. That hair, once it grows out of your scalp and it's been there for a while, it's dead hair. Like there's no saving it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to make it look as good as possible until you have to basically cut it off. But that new growth is that fresh curl pattern that comes through, and it's just and that is basically how life is. It's just the endless possibilities that you can do with that new growth. Like my podcast right now. I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. It is like there's no guidelines to what I can say, what I can do. I write what I need to. I basically run this. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to your hair, the new growth that comes into your head, it is up to you what you want to do with it. You have like this half an inch or 2 inches or all of this new growth. What are you going to do with it? That's the question. What are you going to do with all of this new growth, all of this untapped potential? I'm going to let that simmer for you for a bit, because when you get knowledge, when you get something new, it is not for you to just let it die. It's for you to enjoy, for you to experience, for you to put into action, apply to your life, and get something going. If you have new money, it's not supposed to just sit in your pocket or sit in your savings. It's supposed to do something. I would hope it would be to, invest in something that can actually double that, triple it, and bring it back to you instead of just, getting rid of it by spending it on frivolous things. Like, what is your plan? What is your plan with this new growth? What is this new potential, this capacity, this new filled capacity of yourself? Like, what are you going to do with it? A lot of people ask, like, for me, I'm like, okay, I have space now. I've gone and removed a whole bunch of people out of my life, and in order to receive something, you have to let go of something. I'm telling you, with this new growth, in order for you to keep this new growth coming in, right, you have to cut away those split ends. You have to get rid of the dead weight. You can't keep doing the same thing, because then everything will end up dying, right? So, like, with my life and looking back to 2020 and what I've gone through, I had a smile on it. Not the whole time. Like, I was like hurt, everybody knows that I broke my ankle in August, so I had to go through something completely new. And I didn't say, oh gosh, why me? At first I was like, oh man, I sprained my ankle. Then I found out it was broken. I'm like, oh man, like, this is a different experience. Like, I've never got a chance to break anything. Not to say that I'm like, yeah, let me break my stuff. No, it just was like, how do I look at this new opportunity to learn something about myself and how I can heal myself, how I will recover, how will I turn out? This affected a whole bunch of things when it came to me, like my weight loss journey, because I was starting to work out and everything like that, and run and jump rope, and I had to, all of that came to a halt and I had a personal trainer. I'm like, all of that I could not do anymore because of this ankle injury. Like, you think that you could probably do some arms and stuff like that, but you have to be mindful about the blood circulation, because all of it's going to rush to your foot. It's going to swell. So I couldn't do anything for at least 2 months. So I had to learn something new. Like, I'm like, okay, now I have all this free time, all this new time, what to do with myself. And I basically just poured myself into something that I was not focusing on at the same time, at the time before that. So I was able to give all that I had to this one thing, and that thing, I watered that and it grew. Okay, when I tell you I had new growth in where I paid attention to, and look at that. Like, when you pay attention, or you pour life and love and effort nutrients and all of that, when you put the energy into a certain situation, you get new growth. And it's just like with your hair. When you care for it, when you put in you grease your scalp, or you don't play with it or pick at it, you are intentional. When you take care of it, you're mindful of what you are putting into your system. And if you're blow drying your hair or putting heat or any contaminants, when you're paying attention very closely to what you're doing and how you're doing it, new growth happens. And that is the same thing that you can apply to life, because when I put and poured into my nonprofit, I got new growth. I went from myself to 19 volunteers, a staff of volunteers, of 20 people now, right? That happened from August to now. And had I not been able to just focus on that, I would not have realized how much I was not paying attention to that area of my life. And when you think about it with, your skin or anything like that, like our cells, they regenerate all the time. So we always lose skin particles and a new one comes on. So if we pay attention to our skin and we stop messing with it and we put the right things on it and we stop putting the bad things on it, we allow the new skin cells to develop to give us a glowing skin. Plus, we also have to be mindful of what we put into our system. And that's also with life. We have to be mindful of what we're putting in our minds, what we're consuming, intellectually, emotionally, physically, all of that, the environment that we're in. I mean, you can't really escape the environment. We're all in a pandemic, but it is what you do with that, how you see it, and what you choose to focus on. Like me breaking my ankle, I didn't focus on, my gosh, I got a broken ankle and I'm disabled. I can't do nothing. I can't think. No, I said, I'm going to stop thinking about me being helpless and figure out what I can do to help. Let me focus on my nonprofit, because I can still do something. I can still talk. I can still do things with myself. And because of that energy, because I was so excited about the new people that came in, my new growth, I was so focused, and that energy just lifted me up. And I don't know if it healed me, it was giving me healing powers, but I wasn't focused on the pain. So I allowed myself to heal and not focus on, oh my God, am I going to heal now? I didn't even focus on that. I just was getting better as time was going by because I was focused on something else. That is what I was doing with my new growth. I was focusing on the new growth that I was getting, and I allowed the other parts of me to heal in the time where it just needed to do that. Sometimes you just need to be away from everything. You need to just stop and not focus on the bad happening in your life. Like, of course, you definitely need to work on making things better, but I mean, if you can't do anything to change it, like if it's something that just has to happen on its own, then what can you do but focus on something else and pour into that? And when that is done, you move on to something else. And then, you check on it every time, just like a plant, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really go into the plant and be like, hey, are you better now? Are you growing? No, you have to let it do. Like you poured what you needed to do, you poured the water in, you've given the soil is good, you've given it sunlight and all of that. And now you just got to let it happen. with my foot, I had my soft cast, my boot, I had my gels that I had to rub on my foot daily, when it came out of the soft cast. But I had to make sure it wasn't wet. I didn't wet it, I followed the instructions that I was given, and it was difficult because I had to stand on my one foot while I took a shower with a bag that I got from Amazon to put on my foot so it didn't get wet. That was a dream, I tell you that. But that was what I had to do on my part. It was a lot, but it was like, in order for this to heal properly, I'm going to do all the things that I need to do for it. I'm not going to rush it, but I'm going to do what I have to do, and then go back to focusing on something else. You still have to work at, providing a healing environment or a healthy environment for the situation to get better. You still got to work at it, but that's it. Like, all you're doing is just making sure it's an environment for it to grow. And when you're dealing with your hair too, making sure that you're giving it the time and the environment that it needs to grow. You can't just look at something and be like, oh my God, it's not growing. Oh my God, it's not getting better. And then what? How long are you giving yourself to grow, to change, to develop? It takes time. The fruit of labor is not overnight. Like, you have to put in work. I mean, we put a lot of years and months into damaging certain things. So it's going to take the same amount of time, if not more, to change it, to make it become better. So we just have to be mindful when it comes to new growth. It takes time. In my physical therapy, I realized that I couldn't do certain things. Like, it wasn't about me knowing how to do something. Like, oh, they gave me this thing and I'm like trying to like get it on the first try. And I was like, and my therapist was like, no, you don't. It's just keep doing it until you can get it, and that's going to show the progress. So if in the beginning you can't turn your foot isn't rotating completely, then it's fine. So on the next time we're going to it's the process. We're trying to get to where you can do it. So I had to rethink how I was doing things because I was always trying to be perfect. And what 2020 has done away with is perfection. Okay. I was, it's not about perfection anymore. It's about getting things done as good as you can and get better with it. I mean, but you can't start off perfect, because then where do you go from there? There's no progress after perfect if you feel like you got it on the first try. You know what I'm saying? Like, the amazing journey of new growth and development is seeing the process of it all, seeing where you started and where you end up. And now I can jump rope. Now I can do all of the things that I was doing. And I sometimes, I still have some issues with my foot and its stiffness, but for the most part, my foot might have become a little bit stronger than my other foot because I've poured so much love and made sure I was like putting work into it. I had therapy for it, so it became a little bit stronger. So sometimes the brokenness part of you, I don't know, I'm saying the brokenness part, but the pieces that are broken, they can be your strongest part. A lot of people think that, your weakness is some of your, flaws or your weaknesses, but it can be your strongest part of you. Like, it can be your strengths. Your weaknesses can be your strengths. Because if you start focusing on it, once you realize it's there, you can make it so much better. But you have to work at it. Nothing is going to be guaranteed. Nothing is going to just at the flick of a finger, snap of a finger, it's new, it's good. No, new growth takes time. Growth takes time. So if you're trying to understand somebody around you, give them time to develop. I mean, you ain't got to hold their hands. I'm not saying that. You can, distance yourself from them and allow them to develop on their own, because maybe they just need that space. You don't have to curse anybody out. You don't have to do any of those. You don't have to stomp your feet. You don't have to demand change, because it's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen with your hair. It's not going to happen with other people. It doesn't even happen with yourself. Like, you can tell yourself, hey, I want to change. I want to lose weight overnight. Yourself going to look at you like, what? You got to do a whole process, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get my body, my muscles to understand, to get this memory, going, like, after doing squats and getting back into working out and all that, I'm like, my body's sore. I'm walking funny. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, there is a process. Your body has to adjust to what you want. So if you ask for something and you're doing it, your body is going to have to react to it. It's like, all right, that's where you want me to go. Okay, I'm going to go. All right, give me some time. I'm here. All right. And then all of a sudden, everything starts happening so smoothly. And you're like, wow, I don't even remember the first time. Right? And that's just with your hair as well. When you start, you like, I want you to grow, hair, grow. And your hair is like, what? Like, but you still burning me. You still blow drying me. You doing all of this stuff, throwing relaxers on me. Like, I can't do what you want me to do because you keep doing the same thing. Do something different. Give me what I need. Okay? Give me what I need to grow. And allow me to grow. Give me the time. Like, I mean, you done damaged me. You know what I'm saying? I got to work this out. You got split ends messing with me and stuff. So your hair is like, yo, just give me the time. Your skin is also saying the same thing. Like, give me the time to show up for you. But you got to show up for me. And that's just the same thing with people, with relationships, in life, in work, in business, clientele. People ain't gonna see you overnight. It would be nice, but you got to put the work in. Word of mouth is everything. Like, you got to keep getting people. You got to have the same momentum. You can't. You gotta be doing the same thing. Consistency is key. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to new growth and development, is consistency. The minute you stop, the minute is just like, whoop, I guess, never mind. She don't want that bad. You know what I'm saying? So just keep at it. Don't stress yourself out. Don't blame yourself. Don't pressure yourself. Allow the time and the space for things to develop as they should and will, So that's what I got for new growth. Again, happy new year. If you have any comments or questions, or you want me to talk about anything when it comes to hair, please don't be shy. I want to hear it. It's a new year, new day, new hair. Okay, that new growth. Okay, have a good one and stay safe and COVID free, everybody. Love ya. Thank you again for listening to Beauty and Braids. I'm your girl Karyne, and this has been another great day. Until next time, you'll hear from me then. In the meantime, please follow me on @HairByKaryne at Shop Braid Appeal and at YTC Nonprofit. Get to know me a little bit better. Check them out. Bye.